We just returned from a cruise around the Mediterranean, and for each of the 7 cities we visited, I created a Google Maps list of all of the key places everyone recommends going. So the next few videos will be travel prompt lists, one for each city. Some lists I was able to complete entirely, some of them had a couple missteps, and a few of them had some additions. But if you're new here, my name is Jennifer from Watkins Through Life, and I am on a challenge this year to follow 52 book prompts and countless other life prompts throughout the year. Our second to last stop on our cruise adventure was in Nice, France. Now this was one of our favorite stops, but we actually got to see the least of the city because of the port times. We docked at 6 and we had to be back at 2, but the issue is that it's a tendering port, which means that you have to wait for a boat to take you over to Villefranche, where you can then take public transit to Nice. So by the time we got to Nice, it was probably like 10 o'clock. And we had to leave to get public transit back by 1 o'clock. So that left us with 3 hours in the city, and I think we used them rather well. In Villefranche, as we were walking up to the bus stop, we did end up passing through the Mairie de Villefranche-sur-Mer, which is like an old castle defense building that they had out, and it was really cool because there was one of the rooms set up for like a wedding, and just what a cool place to get married, you know? And it just overlooks the ocean, this pristine village on a cliffside. There's this adorable little hut in like a mini garden that just fascinates me. We got off at a stop just north of the old town. When we were walking through, we did get to see the cathedral that's there, and I believe it's the Sainte Trinité, and it was one of the most beautiful churches that we had seen. We didn't get to go inside of a lot of the churches during our trip, and our favorite was definitely Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, but this one was traditional and just classic. And we walked through the old town down towards the flower market. And oh my goodness, if you have never heard of the flower market, you have to look it up because the entire thing is just flower themed. There's cut flowers, there's potted flowers, there's seeds, there's products made out of flowers like herbs and soaps, and it's just beautiful, and it smells incredible, and I just loved it so much. And then right past that market, behind another row of buildings, is the beach. And we were on the side of the beach that has these incredible smooth rocks as the base. And so like you're walking on rocks, which I mean is slightly uncomfortable for feet that have been walking for 7 days already, but it was still fine. And you can still walk into the ocean on these smooth rocks. As someone who grew up in the Northwest, let me tell you, beautifully pristine and uniform, smooth rocks is a miracle to me. Everything in the Northwest is jagged and sharp and hurts. So this was just lovely. We ended up being able to just chill there for a bit. If you do walk along the beach to the other side, it is sandier. We just didn't have the time. From there, honestly, we had to book it to find a place to eat lunch, which was okay. But anyways, from there, we booked it to the bus stop, which was by the library. The coolest part of the library is that there's a giant sculpture of a blockhead. But honestly, we were so short on time that we didn't have time to round the corner to see the giant blockhead. And when I say we didn't have time, we did not have time, because as we boarded this bus, we filled the entire bus at its first stop, meaning that it had to skip all of the other stops, meaning that all of the other passengers from our cruise who were counting on that bus to get back did not make it. And let me tell you, the captain on our ship did say that we left a couple people behind. So yeah, we did not have time to see Blockhead. Now let me take a second to explain all the other things on our list that we didn't quite get to. There is a restaurant chain in France called O Tacos that we find absolutely hilarious. When we went to France, we ended up going to the wrong location, got a little bit lost, ended up eating at this hilarious place called O Tacos. And when we got it, it was more like a folded piece of flatbread around meat with like French fries on top. It's more like a panini with French fries. So not tacos, but very good and hilarious. And so now every time we see it, we're like, oh, tacos, in the Canada theme song. It's fabulous. Anyways, did not get up north to try that. As you drive from Villefranche to Nice, you pass by this large cliffside that goes up, and on top of the cliffside there is a park with like a castle or some ruins, and I think it's the Parc du Mont Baron. And obviously we couldn't see it because we were at the bottom of the cliff on the road driving. If you go way north into the city, you can see the Matisse Museum as well as the monastery garden. which would have been a priority if we'd had another 3 hours in the city. So then there's the Promenade du Pallon, and this is a main road that goes diagonally through the city, and on the bottom of it is Old Nice, at the very top of it is the Matisse Gardens, and then along it you have the rest of the city. And the middle, spanning all the way up, there's gardens, there's fountains, there's some beautiful things to see, but again, there just wasn't time. And while I went through this list in a very chaotic manner, it was actually the calmest day of our traveling. It was just so relaxing. We didn't really have an itinerary of times we needed to be at different locations and attractions, so we're really able just to take a bus, walk around, take a bus, and leave. So that was nice and relaxing for a change. And I will say, I am biased towards France. I love France. I love the culture. I love the people. I love the language. I love everything. But I will say that Nice is just a jewel of the Mediterranean. It's beautiful, and you should go. The next city is Barcelona, and it's definitely not the calmest of the cities we went to. I think in terms of city vibes, Nice and Barcelona were complete opposites. So check out that next video, which is the last in the series of travel prompt lists. If there are any other coastal cities in France that have the same small town beautiful vibes, please leave them below because I love everything France and will happily devote hours to researching them. Hope you're having a lovely summer, and à bientôt! Sont